Good day, everyone. How are you all doing? Hope everyone is doing fantastic, feeling groovy, realizing, of course, that the government really doesn't love you, and also realizing that pretty much everything you've been told since the day you were born is a lie. It is August the 12th of 2025, 12:43 p.m. Mr. Buzz coming to you from the communist shithole known as Ontario, Canada. And unfortunately, I got to visit this topic again. As I said in the last video I made about this, it just keeps coming up in my everyday life. I find more people that are experiencing this. It's an epidemic, obviously. I just got an email from someone who watched my gang stalking video entitled "Gang Stalking is More Prevalent Than I Thought." Probably about a week ago I made that one. I was going to read the email I got. Hi sir, I watched a video you put on YouTube called "Gang Stalking is More Prevalent Than I Thought." I have reached out to a few people about this, but no one ever really responds or reaches out. I reach out to talk or discuss it. This shit is as real as F. I'm being targeted and have been in the past, but it stopped for years. I'm also in Ontario, and the stories I have are next level. My friends, my family have been turned against me. The courts screwed me over with my kid, my finances. They are attacking everything. I was set up and arrested, etc. So this is severe gang stalking going on here. You see other people talking about it online, but never meet anyone in person or know they are going through this in real life. Well, that's the main reason I'm making this video. One of the main objectives of the stalkers is to have you labeled crazy. Okay, it's basically a psyop. It's like a psychological operation to give them an opportunity to label you a crazy person. And if they can get a large group of people to believe you are crazy, they might even get someone to try to have you committed or whatever, right? He's talking crazy stuff. He's talking about cameras and microphones and being followed. He's obviously paranoid. He needs his meds. This is what they do. So, as I say, the reason I'm making this video is if you are one of the victims of this practice of gang stalking and intimidation, you are not crazy. You are far from crazy. It's been going on for years with me, and literally hardly a day goes by that I don't hear of a new case of it. And the real severe ones, it's not just being followed around the streets. They will cause legal problems for you. They will try to have you labeled as a bad parent and get your kids taken away. They will cause employment issues for you and spread rumors about you at work. And I mean, there's no limit to what they'll do. They're trying to destroy you. They're literally trying to wreck your entire life and your reputation, your relationships with family and friends. They will try to break up your marriage. They'll do it all, I promise. Okay, so when this started for me, I had 3 websites on the go, 4 or 5 Facebook pages, groups that I was just the one who started them. I was a public figure. Okay, I was not famous or anything, but in this town I'm in, I was pretty well known. I was a music teacher and also a practicing shaman at the time, which I'm not anymore, and I'm a Christian now, and I gave up that practice. But at the time, I was a shaman. And I even had an ad out there to the public. If anybody needed my services, I did not charge for it. It was free. But I would, do a ceremony for you. I had a lot of people came to me with PTSD, like people who had attempts on their life. I had a woman come to me who someone tried to stab her, and she, fought it off and got away, but she was really traumatized by it. And I had a lot of cases like that. And all of a sudden, people who were coming, I knew there was something fishy about them. They weren't there because they actually had spiritual issues or whatever. They were there to sabotage me. They were there to get information, to find some way to frame me on something. Like, it just got worse and worse and worse, okay? And then the next thing I know, there's a rumor going around, and I've been very open about drug use I've done in the past and things like that, but I've never even seen heroin, okay? I've never even seen the stuff in my life. And yet a rumor gets started, oh, Jeff's on heroin. He's doing needles and all these. I'm so scared of needles, you can't get a needle near me. Like, complete fabricated garbage is all it was. But it didn't matter because certain people believed it. And then people were pulling their kids out of lessons at my music school. And I mean, my reputation just shot down into the mud because of rumors that weren't at all true. Okay. Those who knew me really well, they knew the difference. But the general public didn't. When they hear stuff, they just believe it. So this is the kind of thing that will happen to you. Beware of the rumors, because even though they're just rumors, people will believe them. Okay, so there was a boss I had years ago. I worked for a place called Easy Home. It's a furniture rent-to-own sort of place. And I was the repo man at first, and then I became a manager of my own store. And our divisional vice president, he was called, he came down for a visit one time to my store. And we're talking stuff. He says, I got to teach you one thing. He said, there's one thing that you need to know, and then you'll be fine in this business or any business you ever go into. Be 7 foot tall and bulletproof. And I've written a song called that since then. And what he meant, he explained to me, you have to be squeaky clean. I actually wrote a song called that too. You have to be squeaky clean, 7 foot tall and bulletproof. Make sure no one has any ammunition against you. You have to be very careful at all times. Watch what you say. Watch who you hang with. Watch what you do. 7 foot tall and bulletproof, because they'll come for you. Somebody's going to come for you eventually. And your only hope is to be 7 foot tall and bulletproof. Just means super squeaky clean. Okay? In spite of that, you can still have problems because people will just make stuff up. But it's a lot better if they make stuff up and they can't prove anything because you haven't actually done anything, obviously. But these are the things they'll do. They will attack you from every direction. Now, this email I just read from one of my viewers, I've replied to that, and we're going to have another conversation. He wants to talk about it. So maybe I'll make another video after I have that conversation, and I probably get some pretty wild stories. Another very common thing for them to do is, let's say you're in a relationship and you have a child. If they can turn one against the other, and they'll usually try to turn the female against the male, and then convince the female to make an accusation of abuse or something at the male. He abused the child, he hit the child, he molested the child, whatever. To try to get you put in jail. And if she makes that accusation, they're going to believe her. That's the thing. They're going to believe her. That's why they usually try to get the female to do it. I know several people who went to jail on totally bogus accusations. I know in one case, the female admitted later on that she had made the whole thing up just to lock him up in jail. She was looking for vengeance, and she had people coaching her. Okay, they'll stop at nothing. These people do not have any conscience, and they don't have any moral compass, and they're demon infested. This is part of spiritual warfare. This is not totally an earthly problem. This is a spiritual issue, and the stalkers are demon infested. There's no question about that. Okay, when you're being followed around and they're trying to pull their intimidation tactics on you, everyone doing it is being controlled by a demon. That's how it is. So know that right off the bat. That's why your best defense is not a weapon or, well, it's a weapon. It's the weapon called Jesus Christ. That's the only thing that fully protects you. You need to be in good with the Lord. Let him know how badly you want his protection. He will give it to you. If you are one of God's and if you're being gang stalked, you are one of God's. That's the first thing it tells you. You are clearly one of God's warriors, or they would not bother with this. And remember, their main objective, they don't just want to physically attack you, and I mean, they want to do that too, but their main objective is to make everybody think you're crazy. That's what they're after. It's a psyop, as I say. It is 100% a psyop. And as long as you're in good with the Lord, they won't have success. They've been trying to get me for years. They cause inconveniences. They may even break up, a relationship you have. You might lose a friend. You might lose a job. They might have some success like that. But to really destroy you, well, the Lord just isn't going to let that happen if you're one of his. So that's the best encouragement I can give you. You're not crazy. I'm here to tell you. I mean, if everyone who's crazy, if everyone who's claiming to be gang stalked is crazy, wow, that's a lot of crazy people. That's a lot of people just went nuts all of a sudden. Because I literally hear about a new one every day. And some of the stories, well, actually all of the stories are very similar. It's always the same tactics, always the same objective, to make the person look crazy. It's always an attempt to get a psychiatrist involved or something. Your own parents will do this to you. This is something Denza Mose, he's a guy who makes videos on YouTube. I've talked about him many times, about the anointed ones, the chosen ones, about gang stalking. He does lots of videos on this. And he makes it very clear that your family could be your worst enemies. Okay, if your family is involved in anything satanic, which more families than you would believe are involved in that, then they may pretend to care about you when the actual reality is they consider you the enemy because they know that you're with God, and they're not. The movie Rosemary's Baby, if you've never seen that, highly recommend that. It's an old movie. Roman Polanski, I think, was the director of that one. Creepy movie, but gives us a very accurate description of how this society actually is. The Luciferian or satanic cult that is operating all around us is way bigger than you think. They're sworn to absolute secrecy. The ones that are heavily into that cult, they're not allowed to speak of it, and they don't. They're very, 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 very secretive. But there's more of them than you can shake a stick at. I wouldn't be surprised if it's over half the world. Okay, the Bible's pretty clear who the prince of this world is. That's the evil one. He is. This is his domain, basically. The Lord owns it. But for whatever reasons, the Lord has let him have it as his playground for now. He's not going to get to keep it. The meek shall inherit the earth. We know that. The Bible tells us clearly that that's the case. But during this period in time, spiritual warfare is just going full tilt. And this is part of it. To make you look crazy to everybody. Do things that you will know for sure are real, but you can't prove to anyone else. Okay, that's... Filming is really important. If If you can hook up a hidden camera on your body somewhere that no one even knows you're recording all the time, that's a good idea. That'll definitely help. And as I mentioned before, just be careful of your devices. They're trying to plant stuff on your computer, on your phone. They're trying to hack you. They're trying to surveil you. They're probably tracking you with your phone, like GPS, however it's done. I don't know. I'm not a real technical guy. But they are definitely tracking, surveilling, and possibly recording you too. They'll stop at nothing. So, please know you're not crazy. You're definitely not crazy. This has become so prevalent that I can't believe anybody doesn't believe it. I mean, do you think every single person saying this is just making it up or has gone delusional? No, it's a real phenomenon, and it's not going to stop anytime soon, because the spiritual war is ramping up, folks. It's ramping up. It's getting crazy. So be careful out there. Reach out to me if you need to talk to somebody about it. The most important thing for me was to not feel so alone. And I didn't want to be the only one. Like, I don't want other people to experience it, but you also don't want to be the only one making a claim like that, and then you think you are crazy, right? No one else is saying this, only me. No, it's far from only you or only me. I've talked to hundreds of people who are going through this. Some to a worse extent than others. I think it depends on your position in society, who you are, how important you are to God, whatever. I'm not sure of the factors, but some people are really experiencing a high level of this. And it also depends on how evil your family is and how well your friends and everybody have deceived you. So that's what you got to be careful of. Trust nobody unless, you are absolutely sure. And it's pretty hard to be absolutely sure, but there are ways, like the marks on the hands. If they have those W's on their hands, you can definitely trust them. That's a mark that God put there. It also means they're probably being gang stalked as well. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Sorry to make so many videos on this topic, but it seems that it's necessary, and there's a lot of people out there who are afraid of being called crazy. So that's what this is about. This video is to let you know 100% for sure, no, you are not crazy. And also to remind you that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life.